Thank you for joining us for another episode of ZenJen Connections. I am here today with a very special woman by the name of Carina Hammarsten. She is a top earner, a top entrepreneur, and a spiritual therapist. I believe, if I am translating, your entire website is not in my language, that I can't speak Swedish, Carina, but
No.
I have been tuning into your orbit for some months now. We met by way of a mutual friend, Eva, and it's just been, I feel as though it's been kismet and divine timing that we meet today. And your grace in just allowing for the divine will to play out in the way that it has for us to meet on this platform today. And I can feel your grace emanating through the airwaves. I can feel your energy palpably in all that you have to share with us. So Carina she is one of the top educational content providers in the country of Sweden. And she has been so wonderful to meet with us for an English conversation today. And so please, Carina, let me know. I'm a very wordy birdie. I will talk your ear off. Eva will tell you. So if I need to restate something, or if I need to state it in a different way, please let me know, because I know that there are a lot of people that are going to benefit from our conversation today.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I will.
Yes. So tell me, please, what started you? I mean, your website talks of being, I believe, a spiritual therapist. Is this
Yes.
correct in my translation?
Yes.
Okay. And so I know that whenever we were going to meet today, or we were going to meet yesterday, actually, I was in a state of disarray, and I made a post this morning. I was trying to put my makeup on over tear-streamed face, and I received your message saying, I think we need to reschedule. And I believe I'm in a state of transformation. And I was like, oh, wow, she's picking up on some energies that I believe a lot of people are experiencing right now, that I've noticed, not just in my own realm, but in others whom I've been interacting with. This has been a prevalent frequency, and you picked up on it and you acted on it with intention. And I was just so blown away by that. And it touched me in a way. And I just know that yesterday wasn't the day to meet. It was today that was the right time. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree, because I guess I picked up on your energies, but I also picked up that my guides told me that you were going to be in a higher frequency when you were speaking to me. So yesterday I felt like, well, I can do the interview, but it won't be a fun thing for me to do, and not for you either, because I was not in the mood at all, and I had a headache that felt like I was blown away in my head totally. So I guess that was the way for my guides to tell me that this is not the day. Tomorrow is the day. And today I've been at the gym and I worked my energy up, and today I'm feeling really awesome.
I love that. I love it. Oh, wow. So does this happen for you frequently, Carina, when you're working with your clients, that you are able to pick up on the energy of others as an empath, that you know the state of being or their state of mind prior to hopping on a call with them or prior to meeting with them? Is this something that happens frequently for you?
Yeah, that is correct. I have been like that for about 4 years now. So before my clients come to me for a Reiki treatment or a client session, my guides already told me I can print or I can write 4 pages about what the problems are before they come here. And also I have noticed that before a client calls me and tells me I need a treatment, I have 2 or 3 days before get from my guides also, this woman is calling to you and she has this problem and you need to be prepared. And then I get physical feelings about what the problems are. So 4 years back, this has happened to me frequently.
What brought that about for you? You said it very specifically, it's been 4 years since this has been happening. Was there a great epic transformation that took place 4 years ago that after that, in the wake of that, this is now an extrasensory gift you have to draw upon?
Yeah, I believe it is, because about 4 years ago, I had my first transformation. I will call it transformation. Someone else is calling it Kundalini rising. Yeah. And it was so severe and so strong for me that I had to ride the ambulance to hospital, because it started in the root chakra and went all through me with this white canal right through me with warm liquid, and my body just shaking like this. And this I have had the same date every year, 4 years in a row. So 4 years in a row, and every time I have this at the same date, this arising will come, and I will get more spiritual awakenings and spiritual knowledge, and I guess it's just a level up thing, I guess.
That's amazing. So you said the same date every 4 years, or every year for the last 4 years, rather.
Yeah.
So it's like the exact same calendar date. Are we talking about the solar calendar that everyone works on in the modernized world of today?
Yeah, I think it was 27th of June.
Really?
Yeah.
The June 27th, every year, the last 4 years. Interesting. That's the first I've ever heard anyone speak of that kind of experience. I know that in the month of April is always a transformational time for me, following the spring equinox. For some reason, the energies at play, the natural rhythm and cadence of just Earth in general, for me, something always tends to play out during this time. You mentioned your guides, guides that you work with. Did they give you any insights into perhaps why it happens at like clockwork once a year?
No, they didn't tell me that, but they gave me I worked with them, because after the first time I had, I started these spiritual inner journeys that I have with clients on a distance. And the Archangel Gabriel, my son has his name after this angel also. And he's just like spiritual as me. And that first time, the Archangel Gabriel came to me and said, you have to do this. You need to write down. I wrote 4 or 6 pages for a session in spiritual inner journeys. And he said to me, you need to do this with your clients, because they need to empower themselves. They need to find their inner potential, their own power and personal frequency, energy frequency. So write this down. I think it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I sat down and wrote 4 or 6 pages. And then I started to do these inner journeys with clients on distance. So when I did this, the clients told me that they see me in, like, in Star Wars, they see the Princess Leia as a hologram. They saw me as a hologram with long dark hair. I had longer hair, and I think it was a white dress and a crystal in my forehead. And
Wow.
I sync with them. I see and feel what they see and feel. So I start a kind of spiral in my left hand, palm hand, and when the spiral is moving, I put the client in the spiral, and then we travel together, and they see what I see and I see what they see at the same time. So that is quite awesome.
That is awesome. That's incredible. I know that as soon as I was going through a period of crisis, what brought on my spiritual awakening, it was approximately 8 years ago when my younger brother passed away suddenly by way of suicide. And this is what brought on a whole slew of extrasensory experiences for me that it took me many years to make sense of those and know what was happening, and really to be able to apply them in a meaningful way to my life in the way that I intended to live it moving forward, right? But the way in which you speak about this, it intrigues me because it's so specific and it's so very defined and clear. And I'm wondering, I believe I recall you and Eva talking on the previous podcast that I tuned in, that I'm going to leave that link in the comments because it was just an incredible conversation. But you were discussing that this is, I mean, maybe a transformation occurred 4 years ago for you, but this has been a lifelong journey for you since childhood, has it not?
Yeah, since I was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It started for me. I was in Sunday school. I learned all about Jesus and everything that you need to know before going to church. And I believe I was 6 years old when I first met some kind of UFO on the sky, and it took about 2 seconds. It darkened the whole sky, and then it was poof, gone. And then I thought to myself, well, after that, I started talking to my cat, my grandma's cat. So I found out how to talk to animals. And then suddenly, about 2 weeks after the UFO, I had my first experience with an angel. And I guess it was my guardian angel, because he saved me from drowning in a small pond, but also if I stood in that, I would be drawn down. So I was drawn up by this angel, and he said, it's not time for you yet. So I have a lot of experience with the angels, especially the archangels. So it has been a nice journey, same as the time has been strengthened me and given me knowledge of things that I didn't know before. And just because I can work with my clients on a deeper level, so I can get them the knowledge that they need to hear to pick up on the strength and potential they need to have in this lifetime.
That's incredible. I'm getting downloads as we speak of all of these questions I have for you now. So this experience with the UFO as a small child, followed by the experience of the archangel. Was it an archangel that came into your aid, or just an angelic presence?
I don't really know, because I was so little, but I guess I know I remember that it was very bright, and the cat sat beside me, and I remember the cat said, "Oh, you're stupid to put your legs in that pond. And now you're going to suit yourself." and I was, what? And then this bright light came and dragged me up in my hand. Wow. So I just reached out, and then I was up and standing by a big rock, and the cat said, "We have to go home now."
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what was the timeline on these two experiences, the UFO sighting and the angelic presence saving you? And do you believe that there was some link, some parallel connection between the two, like as though they're coinciding to intervene in your life for the greater benefit of you and for the collective that you're obviously meant to serve?
Yeah, maybe it is. I had thought about it afterwards, and just for about 4 weeks ago, I was getting also downloads from my guides, and they told me that this UFO, I have had a presence in my house. I had a contact where it came into my house and up the stairs, and I was terrified. I thought, even if you come inside my bedroom, I will never come with you. But the light was so bright in from the balcony, and we have the balcony on the second floor, so it couldn't be in a car. And I heard these really heavy steps coming up from the staircase up to our bedroom, and opens the door, and I put the cover over like this, and I said, "Go away, don't come here." But the steps came round to me. My husband laying at the side, he didn't hear anything, he was sleeping. And then the footsteps stand beside me and stopped. And then I thought, okay, do you take the cover now? I don't know what I would do. My heart would stop. But instead of that, I got to see a big screen in front of me, and there was a night sky with only stars. And then when I looked down a bit, I could see how do you say, where you run the ship, all the instruments, all the buttons to click on. And the voice said to me, "It's time to take your place." And I was like, no, I'm not leaving. So I said, "Go away, I'm not prepared, I don't want to go." And then it just, in seconds, it was really gone.
Wow. And when was this? How old were you at this time?
This was for about maybe 5 years ago, just before the transformations first.
Okay, yeah. Just before the Kundalini experience, 4 years ago. Okay, perfect. I wanted to ask you about that as well. And you mentioned this being like, maybe you didn't say painful, but a difficult, challenging experience. And I've met many on my journey who they really ache for this Kundalini awakening. They want it so bad because they see a YouTube video, they hear people talking about the Kundalini energy. And I believe I had an experience of, I don't know if I'd call it a Kundalini awakening. I certainly didn't know what that was at the time that I experienced it, around adolescence. But it was where I was drawing that energy up from the root, like you described, and I envisioned it as light, whereas you envisioned it, or you felt it rather as liquid, that you said. And then with each breath, it would slowly creep closer and closer until it reached my third eye, and at that point I felt a pop, like a strange sensation. And then it was kind of crazy what transpired afterwards, and it was a lot of upheaval of my life. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. And I'm wondering if you agree that Kundalini, it's like the most potent form of energy that human beings can experience here on Earth. And our life as we know it kind of crumbles because it's all an illusion in a way, and it's almost like we are tapping into, rather, that which is not an illusion, and the things that are an illusion tend to crumble away and show you a bigger picture. Has this been your experience?
Yeah, and also I would like to say that this warm liquid, it went right through me. But before this happened, I said to my husband, well, I'm going to explode now in thousands and millions of atoms, and you have to scrape me down from the ceiling or everywhere. And he just said, what are you talking about? It felt like that. And I was ever so safe in that thought. I thought, I don't give a shit if I explode. I want to do this. I want to take this in my body. And it came and it went right through me, and I sat like this. And when the ambulance came, they said to me, we need to take a EKG, the heart rate. Okay, so I was put down on the sofa, and they took it, and it was like this. And he said, I need to take another one because I can't leave this to the doctor. Then he would scratch his head and said, what the hell is this?
They couldn't make sense of what was happening to you?
Huh?
The paramedics or the medical staff could not make sense of what was happening to you.
No.
Oh,
no,
my goodness.
There's nothing wrong with the heart. And they put like this on the heart rate and the pulse. And he said to me, are you an elite gymnastics? No, but you have this wonderful, how do you say it? Pulse and
heart rate?
Yeah, he said,
heart rate.
That you are an elite gymnastics. And I said, no, I'm not. But he said, there's nothing wrong with your heart. And then we came to the hospital, and he said to me, well, you are going to wait here because there are a lot of people who is going to be before you see the doctor. And I said, okay, I can lie down here and take a rest. 20 minutes after that, there comes a doctor, and she was from India, and she had this knot in her head.
Yes.
And she said to me, well, I have looked at your heart rate, and I've looked at your tests, and I can say there's nothing wrong with you. It's only the heart chakra who is opening.
Your doctor said this?
Yes.
Wow.
And I can say I'm not sure because it's not in the journal. So I'm not sure if that was a doctor who was working at the hospital, or if it comes this doctor from another realm.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. Yeah.
That's incredible. That resonates for me, Carina. As you said that, I got what I call soul tingles. Yeah. I get little tingles all over my body. I have a very tactile experience with my extrasensory gifts. And as you said that, they just started tingling everywhere. And I was like, oh man, I've spent a lot of time in hospitals myself, mostly not for myself who's been the patient, but for my loved ones. And I've spent a lot of my years as a caregiver to family members undergoing cancer treatment and the effects of aging. And I've experienced exactly what you're talking about, where whenever you're in a hospital with a loved one for days on end and you don't get much sleep, and you're waking when the staff are coming in at all hours of the night, things become kind of hazy in terms of who is there and why. And there have been a few experiences where it's exactly as you describe, that someone has entered, given me information that I very much needed at that time, and it was incredibly helpful for me to integrate that and start applying it. And there was no record in the medical journals or in the notes that this person ever arrived. And whenever I'm referencing what they told me, people don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I get that too. Yeah.
I love that though. It's confirmation that we are being, I guess some people could say being watched, and that it speaks to the fear that you felt when there was another in your bedroom and you were hiding under the covers, right? But it also speaks of a divine will and an intervention that in many ways it's very benevolent, and it's here for our highest good, because I know that whenever these instances have occurred for me, what has transpired in the wake of that has been growth and becoming and transformation for my highest good. And you can't really argue with that. It's the proof that I'm witness to it, and many others are as well. Has that been your experience also?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have grown a lot of times and a lot of levels after the transformation and after this heart chakra was open. And I remember she told me, you should be very humbled about that your heart is opening up more. And I thought, what? This is a doctor telling me. So yeah, I thought maybe she was from another spiritual realm. I guess so, because there were no records in the medical records or journals or anything.
I know that there are. I've spoken to a lot of people that they're UFO abductees, experiencers, and everyone has their own perspective and their own experience, and some of them are far less enjoyable than others. Some of them, they didn't have a warm experience like you describe, and it makes me wonder. I'm ever the curious student. I always want to know more, but it's like the more that I learn, the more questions that get uncovered in this process. And there's just so much mystery shrouded around our lives and what it is we're doing here. But I know that you've had this business, and I've looked at your website. Your website has such beautiful vibes to it. I can't read a word of it because I don't speak Swedish, but I was perusing it and putting on my VA hat like I do, and people that I interview, I like to look at all of their many things, and you have just a vast expanse of many different avenues that you explore. It's not just I do this one thing. That's one thing that I could see in you, and I love that, because there's a lot of people in the online entrepreneurial realm that will tell you need to niche down onto one thing. And I always have had kind of a knee-jerk reaction to that, because I could never ever do that. I don't want to do that. It's just not me, and it never will be. And I am intrigued by you, because I can see you're not doing that, and you're doing very well for yourself and for many other people that are benefiting from the work that you do. I'd love for you to expand my understanding of that.
Yeah, it's as you say, I have been told you need to niche down for 2 or 3 things, but I said I can't do that, because I am all over and working, and wherever I come for one level, I get 2 more levels. So the guides told me, no, you don't need to niche down. You need to do all these things so that you could help everyone who comes to you. So I've been told from my guides that the people that comes to me, students or clients that comes to me, they comes to me because they resonate with my energy frequency. So I have never ever thought that I need to compete with anyone or do better than anyone else, because I have my things that I do, and I love to put the shining on other people, other teachers. So I have other people, other teachers to come to my website and offer their teachings also. So I'm a bit of a digital entrepreneur, and business developer too. So that's why I'm not niching down to two or three things, because I have all these things that I need to do. So everyone has there's so many other people, different people that comes for different reasons. So they need a smorgasbord over all the things.
I love that word. I use that word all the time. I don't know how to spell it, but I love the word. That's so great. That's wonderful. So do you ever find it to be overwhelming though? Do you ever find it to be like, okay, I have to hop on with this client for this purpose, and then I have to shift gears and go over here and do this over, do you ever at the end of your day feel as though that, you have, it's almost like I feel like I've embodied like 100 different people in one day's time, and I'm exhausted, but I love it, but I'm exhausted. Like, is that ever been, so someone who is, I used to say that I'm a Jill of all trades. For my clients, I would be the copywriter, I would be the graphic designer, I would be the sales expert, I would be this, and I would be that, and I would be every other such thing while I'm editing videos too. And it has the ability, if you don't find some kind of rhyme or reason to why it is you're doing what it is that you're doing, some kind of underlying primordial source reason, it can become very discombobulated. That's another of the words I like.
Yeah, no, I feel I have to say that I never feel exhausted.
No,
I prioritize everything that I do, but if I feel like I felt yesterday when I told you that I need to reschedule, that has become also frequently. If I have clients or sessions, I need to tell them as it is. I need to be serious and say that if I'm going to do a great job, I need to rest this time, and we need to do it that way. But I am all of that you are. I'm editing videos, I am marketing, doing web pages, logotypes and everything, and I love what I do, and I have that much backup. I have a team of maybe 15 guides in different realms and different places that assists me whenever I need so I'm never exhausted.
That's incredible. That's like the next up leveling kind of, if you look at this life as an entrepreneur, as a video game, which I do sometimes, it's like the next level of hiring a team. But I know in those that I've served as a member of a team, that it opens up an entire new a new box of challenges for how it is that you navigate from, I'm going to use the metaphor of the starship navigational landscape, that many people find it difficult to step into that role as CEO of, like, they find it difficult to let go of these things that they've always done, and to trust in these people that they have hired to man the ship or woman the ship in this new route, in this new direction that they plan to take it. And that sense of trust is very difficult for a lot of people to embody, and many don't ever make it to that next level. But it does open up an entirely new paradigm for business and personal growth, and in your interpersonal relationships with how it is you interact with other people. Has this been your experience since you have hired your team?
Yeah, absolutely. And the team also is with me always. I was at the Out of Finley College in Stansted in England. I went for a week and talked only English. That was a very strange feeling, but it was also very good learning to speak and speak up spirituality with English words. And the teachers down at the school, they said to me, you have been here before. No, this is my first time. No, they said, we know your energy, your frequency. It has been here before. So this is the second time you are coming here to this school. And that was the first time I thought, well, okay, I have absolutely been here before, because I got a teacher. He went here for trans healing, trans mediumship school. He had this as a teacher in May this year. And he told me everything that I needed to know. Every question I had when I went there, he gave me the answer to. So I guess maybe I've been before, and I felt a connection with a woman who was on the wall. They have all these teachers that have been teaching at the school way back, 100 years way back. And there was one woman that I felt a connection with, and this teacher told me that this is a woman, you have the same energy frequency as she has. So you are related somehow. And that gave me the chills all over.
Yes, me too. Right now, as you say it, it's giving me the soul tingles, the little, it's an indicator that there's something there, that there is it's like you said, an energetic frequency that is, as we open up to it, we're able to feel it more in our own way. And that's how I feel it. And I'm feeling it right now. So this is incredible. This woman that told you that you had been there before, she referenced a picture of a woman like 100 years ago. How did she know? How did she know who that woman was? Like, was she a historian for this institution? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did this come from? I want to know.
Well, this woman on the picture, she had been a teacher, I guess, at the Art of Finley College. And she was in I was looking in a book of photographs and in the museum at the school. And as I was looking, I went to one side from another, and there she was. And this teacher said, there is your resemblance in the frequency. And I looked at her eyes, and I looked at my eyes. I thought, this woman I can relate to. I felt it in my whole body. And I thought, this can't be. And she said, yes, it can be. So you are a natural trans medium, trans healer. And then we went to class, and we should, me and my, we were a lot of students, and I was working with another woman, and her name was Magdalena. My name is Carina Magdalena. I'm named after Mary Magdalene, because my mother almost went to the other side when she had me. And we were working, this woman and I, and my teacher said, let go and let the angels come through you and to work with this woman. And I was so close to let go, but I felt like, no, I don't dare. But I felt this presence coming in through me, and went to behind me and stood in front of this other woman. And then she said, oh, I can feel the energy. So I guess this place was a place where I have to be another time. I have to go back there. But since the pandemic with COVID and stuff, I didn't do that because we didn't get to travel there. But sometimes in the future, I will go back, and then I will learn more about this woman who was on the picture, because I need to know who she was. And I have done this DNA test, and I have 20% from England and USA in my blood. So I guess I have relatives in both England and USA. So that I will go through too and search for relatives maybe in England or USA.
It's incredible. I hope you'll update me on what your findings are with that, because I am very curious also. And tell me, you said it was Arthur Findlay College
Yeah.
in the UK, in
No,
England?
yeah, in England, in Stansted, England.
Okay, interesting. I know that my DNA ancestral heritage is mostly from that region of Northern Europe, and
Okay.
some of it in France and Germany, but most in the UK, in Irish and Wales. And my husband is almost all Scottish. But we were just talking this morning about something that you touched on just now about time as a construct, and how, I mean, he is of the mind that time doesn't really exist outside of this simulation. And we've been chatting on that and how that factors into previous incarnations, previous lives. And we're kind of the consensus that this world of duality, of splitting things down the middle, and it's either this or it's that, it can't quite compute or comprehend the actual reality of what it is that we are. And that's been, it's like the process of time is a strange one there, because our experience is, processional. This happens, then that happens, then so forth. But if time doesn't exist, what does that look like,
Yeah, I thought about that too, because when I do these spiritual inner journeys on distance, there is no time either, because I am traveling in through time with the client, and we experience the same things and see the same things and feel the same things. So I guess time does not at all exist. Because it's I think it's just a thing that we people have, as they say, we have, how do you say it, we said that this time is for the clock, but I guess the time is not real at all.
Yes.
We are here and we are everywhere at the same time.
Yes, exactly. And that's exactly what my husband said too, that any incarnations, any past lives, they're not really past. They're like happening right now.
Yeah.
Same thing with the future timeline trajectories. They're happening right now too. And you hear these spiritual healers and guides and experts talk about that is the portal to awakening, is to being present in the here and now moment. And for me, it's like there is a construct, especially with business, that we do need to interweave into this simulation, this experience of what it is to be human. But it's like we have to also keep it in our understanding that there is something of a greater dimensional capacity that transcends all of that stuff that will one day fall away. Yeah. It's a finite quality, and there's something else that we all are that is not finite. And that's been the conclusion that I've drawn in this entire process.
Yeah, I can say that I treated an old lady who had cancer, and her daughter told me that she was going to pass away. She felt really bad the last night, and she asked me, can you please give my mother some healing or something that she can pass over in strength and potential? So I said, absolutely, I will do that. And I did. And I said to this old woman, I hope that you really find the right place wherever you're going, and I will give you some boost in energy and frequencies so that you can feel safe on your journey. And the day after, at the morning, an early morning, 10 minutes to 8 o'clock my time, I thought maybe I should write to this daughter and ask her if her mother passed away. but I felt, no, well, okay, I will wait, and she will contact me. So I went in the shower and I came out, and 10 minutes left, and 8 o'clock exactly, I hear this, wow, is it like this in heaven? And I thought, what? The only one who was home with me was my cat. And I thought, he didn't say that. So I heard this woman saying that, wow, is this like, this is like in heaven. And 1 minute later, this daughter said to me in an SMS, a messenger, my mother just passed away.
Oh, wow.
And that gave me goosebumps all over, because it was her voice I had heard in my bathroom just as she passed over.
And you hear these voices or experiences from the clients that you work with regularly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like you're incorporating, just like we were talking about before, there's no way you could niche this down, no. Carina. You could never, because I mean, since we have been talking for this, it hasn't even been an hour, you have referenced UFO contact, you've referenced a Kundalini awakening, you've referenced the animal communication with your kitty cat, and angel communication. And I mean, these are all different modalities that, some people will spend their entire career, their entire life just focused on this one thing. But I think what is fascinating to me about you is that, I mean, I've always been fascinated about all of those things, and so many more that I know that we could talk about forever and ever. But you have this experience, this human avatar experience of interweaving the semblances of each of these experiences into a cohesive, holistic experience. And that's meaningful. To me, that is, because a lot of people that I've encountered, they'll be like, oh no, it's those aren't angels talking to you, like those are demons and you should beware of them, like it's this way or no way. Or other people are like, no, those aren't demons, like these are your spirit guides, and that's, all of that other is not true. Like I really yearn for a full comprehensive picture of what's actually happening to us on planet Earth, because there is an epic transformation and a paradigm shift that's taking place right now as we speak. And if we're not able to weave together all of these experiences that all of these humans are having, then we're really going to be lost in the dark in our own myopic perspective. We do need to open ourselves up more. And I see that you do that just naturally. You're just a living embodiment of that, and I love it.
Yeah, I have never thought of it. It just happens. And when it happens, always my guys are near me to say, you are safe, and you are safe and sound, and you don't need to worry. So everyone is asking me, how can you be so cool? How can you be so laid back? But it's natural for me. So I know I have never thought of demons or other things that people will talk about and scare people about. I have the privilege, I guess it's called, not to ever met any demons or evil spirits or something like that. Never.
Do you believe that might be because there is a divine presence that is around you and intervening, obviously, in your life, and has been since you were a little girl? That there's, I mean, I believe there are many frequencies that we are made privy to. And I don't discount anyone's experience simply because I haven't had that. But I know also that there are benevolent forces that it's like there is a shield or an armor that they provide in my own experience of being protected during multiple encounters with maybe it wasn't demons, but there have been multiple encounters with humans that I was not in a safe space, but for whatever reason, I was protected. And it was by way of these synchronistic, seemingly coincidental, but nothing is by accident, that I was kept out of harm's way in divine timing. And I absolutely ascribe to the belief that I've been protected. I've been guided and guarded by a force, a presence. Can't quite define it, but I know it's there.
Yeah, I agree with you, because my guides always tells me I have two gatekeepers. One who is standing on the spiritual realms and one who is standing behind me. So I was told that there can never be any harm or evil spirits or demons attacking me, because I have always also been somehow kept from those things. So I guess it's almost like if I were to meet them, maybe I would never work with this again. I would be scared or something. But I've heard other people telling me that they have seen demons or have come in closure with or close up with a demon and stuff. But I'm not, I don't know. I can't say if they are, if they exist or not, because I have never met them. And I'm very happy that I haven't met them also.
Sure.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it does sound, I mean, you're quite clearly an exceptionally special person. I can sense that, I can feel that in your presence, in our energetic exchange. It's, I mean, obviously you have been protected, and your guides gave you that download about, you know, this one's standing guard in front and this one's behind you. And so they have like full scope of your entire human avatar experience, no matter where you're going or what you're doing. And I feel also intuitively that this protection, this guidance that you have with you at all times, it spills over into your clients' lives that you work with, that they're able to they're able to benefit from that as well. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely.
And how is it that anyone who is tuning in to this conversation and is as blown away and excited about it as I am, how is it that they can navigate the virtual space to work with you, Carina?
You mean how they can reach
How
me?
can they connect with you to work closely with you if they feel called to do so?
Well, I don't have a website in English.
I know. And that's what I was getting at. And your English is so beautiful. You do so well in conversation. And man, I was looking all over for that button on your website to like translate to English so that I can actually read, because I wanted to dive deep there. I wanted to absorb.
Well, I have two sons, where the older son is a game. How do you say? He makes video games.
Oh, is he a coder?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he's a programmer, I guess it's called. And he made my website.
Okay.
And he said to me, if there somehow anytime in the future is someone who is wanted to read in English, we have to fix this. So I have to, I guess I have to tell him, well, we have to translate the pages.
You have a team and you have a task for your team to work on, because I know that my interest is piqued and I want to know more about you and what you do. I know that we didn't intersect by accident today. No. This has been a meaningful experience for me. And also in terms of just feeling your grace with how it is you approach your transformation, and the fear that is, you know, that's a natural response, the fear and the pain it's, it is not an easy thing for any living creature to transform. And I know I've heard people reference the butterfly, the transformational stage of exiting the cocoon is a painful process. But the way in which you have this sense of bravery that I'm picking up on, you have this sense that it's like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to just go jump right in there and I'm going to do this right now because I don't want to live a life wondering what would have happened if I didn't.
Yeah.
And I feel that I resonate with that. That is something that speaks to me. That's a frequency of bravery that I that lands for me. And I know I'm not going to be the only one. I'm not going to be the only English speaker that feels that way. So I look forward to any new transpirings in your work with English speakers. And I hope that we can meet again for another conversation.
Yeah, I would love that.
Awesome.
This has been very intriguing for me to meet you too, because I felt it with my guides when they told me this woman is leveling up and you need to back off with your headache and let her transform and then reschedule. So I thought to myself, okay, I will have to ask you if it's okay to reschedule, because my guides told me, but I didn't know if I could write it down to say, my guides told me that I need to reschedule. So
we weren't sure
of leveling up. Yeah.
Yes. No, we weren't sure. And we honestly entered into this conversation not knowing anything about hardly the other person. Like, you had heard a few things of what Eva had told you, and I had tuned into a conversation between the two of you who, it was an English conversation, but you're both from Sweden, and there is a cultural difference, certainly, that, I've experienced with working with people from all over the world, but this is perfect proof for me also. And I know that it's going to be for others who tune in, that there's an energetic exchange that transcends the any language barrier. That I know that whenever I intersect my orbits with someone who I'm meant to intersect orbits with, that we will find a way. We will find a way to overcome that barrier, because it's really not going to be a formidable obstacle, because we were meant to intersect, and there's something that's exciting that's transpiring here, and I'm just excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, me too. This has been really awesome for me, and I thank you so much for having me. And if someone wants to be in contact with me, they can email me in English. That is awesome.
Perfect. I will drop the email that you provided, so that people can reach out to you as they feel called to do so.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Yay. Thank you, Carina. You have a wonderful day, and I look forward to the next time we meet.
Same to you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.